Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Sox on Tap.
Tony, my first reaction is just fuck yes, let's go.
Sox versus the Twins. That's where it all starts. It all starts taking care of business in-house in the Central Division.
That's right, I'm a meatball.
You got to bring that top button swag, baby.
It is always great to beat the Cubs.
And I'm a homer, so I always say they're gonna.
Dallas Keuchel Lansing got some beards that you should be afraid of.
What everybody said when he gets out there, it's me versus the other guy, and I'm going to beat him. So I just love that mentality. It's cool and fucking tough.
Steve, would you say that Tony is mad online?
I would definitely say that.
The White Sox winner.
White Sox fans, welcome in to the Sox on Tap post-game show. Jonnie here alongside Tony Marchese discussing a careless collapse by our White Sox. That's the title of the episode. Tony, feels bad, man.
Jonnie, it does feel bad. Feels a little, I don't know. It just doesn't feel right to get back on here with you after a weekend. 6-game winning streak. It feels ugly tonight. Just doesn't feel good, man. It doesn't feel good. Victory beers taste better, and I'm just gonna sit here and pound misery beers. Jonnie, you were there tonight. I've got to hear some initial thoughts.
Dude, I stuck it all out. There was no obviously I hate leaving a baseball game early for any reason, and I did not plan to do that tonight. But I also planned to get out of there after the 9th because shit, when you go into that situation with the lead that you have, you absolutely should be able to get out of it. And it was just frustrating over and over. And obviously, I think the Little League bullshit is what irks me the most. The missing a ball that's coming in. Come on, Timmy. You got Yohan Moncada booting some balls. Yeah, welcome back. That's
Gavin
shit that frustrates
Gavin
me.
Cheats.
Dude, so I mean, there's plenty we could go fucking hours.
You could go.
We're not
back
going
and
to,
forth
but yes, the beginning was fun. Then most of I would say the majority of the game was fun, but unfortunately, the chunk that wasn't was the impactful ones that ended up in the White Sox losing. So yeah, early on the energy was going good. After you had the little hiccup with Sheets missing that routine ball out in right field, and then he comes back and blasts a line drive home run, 3-run shot. And Tony, I think another thing too that I take away from this is that obviously the end result is what matters at the end of the day, but it's like this should have been a propelling win because sure, the White Sox were on a winning streak here, but they never really exploded offensively, right?
Yes.
They did that in spurts tonight with a pair of 3-run home runs.
They did, and it should have been a propelling home run, just ball game for this team.
Yeah,
because of what you did when you were in Cleveland. You had a chance to win this tonight. Had a chance to set the tone, like we say on this show, Jonnie.
God damn it. Yeah, we did. Careless collapse, then. That's where we're at.
Absolutely careless collapse.
Yeah, 4 errors, too. Just looking across some of the box score here. 4 errors there. I know one of them for sure by Timmy. Sheets had the one. Timmy had two, throwing and fielding, and then Moncada had the one too, the ball that he was kind of charging in on there too. It should have been a kind of I think a nice opening to summer of sorts because the weather, I will say, to talk about being at the ballpark, holy hell, the weather is beautiful, man. It was a great day out. I was wearing shorts and a t-shirt and I brought a little light sweater in. That thing just stayed in the bag the whole time. I didn't even need to do it. And then you feel like the ball's carrying a little bit more because right, I guarantee that Sheets one at best it's off the wall in earlier weeks, or at worst it's caught by the right fielder just before the track when it's really dead and cold. But and Pollock, no way that thing gets out. No way that home run in that was at the 8th inning that he hit his. Yeah, no way that ball gets out. It barely cleared as it was. I had the view from it. Sitting on third base line, and like I said, those things should be stuff that's propelling you forward here instead of just a lost cause in the end.
You're absolutely correct there, Jonnie. We'll go break some of this more down when we get into some of the scoring plays, but holy shit, dude. The Sox offense shows up. Michael Kopech shows up. You're unable to win that ball game. That hurts. That hurts. Very bad. I don't know how. You were there.
I think
you watched it live.
I think what hurts here the most, Tony, when you talk about one of those names, is wasting a great start from Kopech. 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 run. It was unearned. That was only in the first. The only damage came in that first inning on a ball that should have been caught. 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. That's a damn solid outing. And obviously, they were in a position to win. Hell, he would have been in line for the win if they were able to hold on to this thing. And I think that is kind of, obviously, I had mentioned the kind of throwing the ball around and booting that shit. That's really what is like kind of like the biggest like sort of like thing that irks me. But I guess this would be second because it's been hard, at least until before this winning streak. It'd been hard to like really string together really quality outings from your starters. Now you're getting it. And you can't you can't just be throwing them away, man.
Yeah, I agree with you. But to a certain extent, Johnny, you rattle off 6 in a row, 2 of those coming from Vinny Velo. Was it time for the White Sox to maybe drop one? Like, even though it
I think in the
grand scheme
of
of
balance
things,
of baseball, just overall, yeah. But
in the grand scheme of things,
yeah,
the Sox have had their little get back. Like you wanted to see how the Sox were going to respond to an 8-game losing streak. Hell, if you're a White Sox fan who listens to this show, you wanted to see how they were going to respond to a 7-game losing streak, a 6-game losing streak, a 5-game losing streak, a 4-game losing streak. You're sitting there saying, like, you've got to go back and get the next one. They rattle off 6 in a row. I think that's something to say there. 7-1 in their last 8 because you had that comeback game that could have been a win last Sunday. And then all of a sudden you have today's ball games. So I want to just put things in perspective here, Johnny. Yes, they should have won tonight's ball game. Easily winnable ball game. You can get mad at some of the things that took place tonight. But when you put it in perspective, Vince Velasquez came out there and shoved during 2 of the 6-game winning streaks in response to the 8-game losing streak. That's pretty fucking cool and tough. That's more than I can ask for. If we're talking about trying to look at how you go win a division, it's something like that crops up. I want to see how they respond tomorrow. Don't want to jump too far ahead, but Johnny, I'm very conflicted about this game tonight.
I think it, like I said, I think in the grand balance of baseball, because it's a game that will humble you time after time, that yes, sure, I think there's that. But it's when you just threw one away that was already, like I said, you basically already had it in your class, right? Going into the 9th inning with what you had, the situation. Even if Banks does just give up the couple there, you would imagine Liam Hendricks come in and lock it down, and Josh Naylor's not hitting fucking 8 RBIs within the 9th and then into extras, right? Like this was a grand slam, yeah, 7. And then a 3-run home run that ultimately put the game on ice in the 11th inning. So, that's where I'm conflicted a bit there too, Tony, because I will say that some of that shit in Boston was a little improbable. They probably shouldn't have won that game Saturday. Let's be honest with ourselves.
Hey, you've got to take them when you get them, and sometimes it comes back and bites you. Was today's game, man, just like if you're going to go out there and say the baseball gods are trying to even some shit out?
Well, we could do that. I mean, dude, we could go all over the place here, Tony. I think you just need to send me back to Kentucky, and then me just be, in the middle of bumfuck down there, and because that's when they played some of their best ball, but when I was down there, so
that's very true.
Yeah,
the Johnny to Kentucky fun.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the way that's where I've been. They've pulled off sweep over the weekend.
We've said it a million times. It's only crazy if it doesn't work.
Right. Yeah. And it was something that was working for a little bit today, though, was talking some smack about guys in the group chat. And we've brought that up, or talking, if we're in person, if we have the Sox on tap crew together. And we're, talking some smack about someone who might be struggling or whatever. Like I was Raymond Sheets. I thought he should have been sent down over Berger. But guess what? He responds by, first he has the error, and then you get piled on even more, me included, obviously, it's your baby boy. So you're not going to go too far there. But either way, he was catching some flack, and rightfully so, because that was a very routine ball that he dropped. And then he responds. So that was great to see. Hey, AJ Pollock, remember he said, can we get this one going here for this? Guess what? We talked some smack in the middle innings, and then he comes out in the 8th, hits a 3-run home run of his own. So there's a little bit of that working. That's when you say it's only crazy if it doesn't work. Well, it worked on at least a couple occasions tonight. I guess what? We needed to talk about Liam Hendricks, even though he had been on it. My thoughts are kind of spiraling out of control here, Tony, but just getting to Liam Hendricks here with this, and he's not the reason that they lost this game. There's not, obviously, unfortunately, it's a blown save, and he's going to pick up, that mark against him there, and you never like to see a grand slam hit off your closer, but he had been cruising through this, right? Before. He'd looked like he finally hit his stride there, and we hadn't seen any of this BS from Hendricks in what felt like, obviously had the injury for a little bit, but what felt like 2.5 weeks now.
Yeah, I'm a couple of beers deep before we got to this episode, Johnny, and I may have made a couple of early remarks about the White Sox winning this game that I fully regret. However, Liam Hendricks has to get the job done here, Johnny. I really honestly think that you get to this point.
You shouldn't be in that spot is my point. That's all.
You shouldn't. Again, we can go back and forth all night on ways the White Sox could have won this ball game. But really, dude, you get to the 9th inning, and he has to give up a grand slam to Josh Naylor. You and I talk about cinematic things all the time. If you're a Cleveland Guardians fan, which sounds so lame, Cleveland Guardians, it's such a lame name. If you're a Cleveland Guardians fan, you're going to bed happy tonight because Josh Naylor hits a home run off of Liam Hendricks.
And hits one off Ryan Burr.
And then goes and hits one off Ryan Burr. Yes. Come on, you've got to be shitting me here. How does this fucking happen?
Dude,
as a White Sox fan, John, how the fuck does this happen?
Errors.
I just don't understand it. I don't understand it.
Yeah, dude.
Never will.
Even worse. I was sitting on the left field line, and there were like fans in the left field bleachers getting a little rowdy, but they were giving Rosario shit out there. Whoever's playing, in left field there, for Cleveland, and it was good banter and stuff, and it worked because it's okay. You guess what? He did end up missing a ball that Pollock came up after and hit the home run, but he did miss a routine ball, just like Sheets for the Sox had missed out in right field, just part of this whole crazy game. But then there was like about 4 or 5 Guardians fans I could see, and a few of them were down in the right field line. So after Naylor hit that second home run in the 11th, this really broke my soul, Tony. Naylor's coming around, and he's like fucking just slamming his chest. And it was so loud because obviously the White Sox fans are upset at this point. It's kind of goes a little bit silent. You can literally hear him pounding his chest as he's rounding first and second base. And that really just set me off. I was not happy about that one bit.
You've got to be
and then the 2
off.
Cleveland Guardians fans on the lines were like, woo, and that was.
You've got to be pissed off if you're a member of that White Sox dugout. If you heard it in 149,
yeah,
they heard it in the dugout. Like,
you've
got to go out and try and fucking beat this team. You got to beat this guy.
Yeah,
you want the rest of the weekend for this guy to be miserable.
Yeah, it brings up.
Go show him up.
Another point here is that 3-10 versus the AL Central. What the fuck are we doing? What are we doing? We talked about it so long, going back, hell, even before we were competitive, friggin' 2018, 2019, even. Just about the importance of winning your divisional games. And the narrative all the time is that the AL Central is super weak. We should be taking full advantage of that. And guess what? We did last year.
100%.
We did that last year. The White Sox did that. And sure, they still got some flack because they said they beat nobodies, but they just took care of the business where they needed to. And now we're putting ourselves in a position where we're going to have to pull off some miracle shit against some really good teams, especially with the tough stretch coming up here, if we're not going to take care of these division teams. And I'd like to be able to do both, but I don't know. The odds do not seem to be in, that camp for being all that favorable.
You're in the middle of the tough stretch right now, Johnny, in my opinion.
You're starting it.
You're
starting
Cleveland.
it.
You have to.
It started with the Angels. That's where it started. And
you don't want this team to have the narrative that the Cleveland Indians have your fucking number.
Yeah.
Guardians, sorry, not Indians. Guardians have your fucking number. It sounds lamer and weaker every time I have to say Guardians.
I mean, dude, in this, all right, so we talk about that, like what that mark, that 3-10. It could easily be even worse now because remember that game got rained out in Cleveland when we were there, start of this whole shit show losing streak.
You've got to go make that game up too.
Yeah, and that's got to be on the road there. So it could be even, the mark could be even worse right now against the Guardians, which is just terrible to think about.
You've got to find a way to beat your divisional teams.
Yeah.
So far this year, the stats that you just laid out there, not great, Bob.
Yeah. No, look, dude, I'm just looking at a few names here. And see, we were talking about how this night should have been like great, just given where the score was, the returns that you had, and on every, Makata is a very polarizing figure, but either way, getting a key piece right, he was just, penciled in as a starter in everybody's mind still, whether you like him or not, from day one. You get him back, and then you get a big bullpen acquisition back from the offseason, Joe Kelly, and I think he looked good. Even though there's a couple plays there that put a couple runners on, not his fault, but Joe Kelly, I thought overall, dude, that guy throws smoke. So I know we're talking a lot of negative shit here, but I feel like this show will just go in circles if we talk only about negative shit. So go ahead, Joe Kelly. I know you like your fireballers. Let's go.
Yes, Joe Kelly. Oh man, just pure stuff out there. Love what I see from Joe Kelly in the White Sox uniform. Dude just looks better in black and white, Johnny. I know that you will probably agree with that, but dude looks better in black and white. Yeah. I mean, flashed his stuff tonight, gets through an inning. I would love him to be a 2-inning guy here. Might be talking about a different ball game tonight, but for all intents and purposes, though, what you got from Joe Kelly tonight, your first White Sox appearance in the Joe Kelly area, your first taste, the initial nibble, I love it. I think it's fucking,
dude. Yeah,
it's gonna fucking help this team down the road.
Yeah, because Liam Hendricks throws hard. Just talking about guys that throw hard here for a second, because Liam Hendricks throws hard, and you can tell he throws hard, right? Because he's really grunting, he's really putting everything into it, and he's really snapping that thing off. Joe Kelly's just so lanky that it looks effortless, and then boom, that thing's flying in there at 98 consistently. Oh, and then he's gonna go and mix it up with a curveball that has some nasty movement and a huge speed discrepancy between that and the fastball. So I love seeing that. That's a great mix for me, and I'm totally satisfied.
Hey, bring the attitude to the team.
Yeah, I cannot wait for him to just talk some smack to people too. It'd be better if we were beating our division teams. We could do that more consistently. But yeah, no, I can't.
Are guys like Joe Kelly and Michael Kopech pissed off at the result tonight?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I just want to be a fly in that clubhouse tonight.
I would too.
If you're Michael Kopech, Joe Kelly, the guys that got the job done tonight, that's got to be an interesting dynamic.
Yeah. I would imagine there's a little bit of heat there, but at the same time, Tony, I think what you and I, just going back to a point that you had brought up earlier here, it's that, yes, it's still frustrating, rightfully so. They should have a, kind of like, get the anger out moment. Sure. But at the same time, I think now it's easier to take a step back, say, okay, boys, look what we just did last week. look what we did last week, and that was without some of these guys that are now in this clubhouse. So let's just, go back out there and do what we can. Now we know we've established what we can do, because in the middle of that 8-game losing streak, it's like, are we ever going to win again? This is a different
I love when we get joyful Johnny on the show.
This is a totally different reset mindset, right? Because every day it was like trying to clock in and do the right things and hope it worked out. Now it's like, we know where we've been.
They can do that.
Right. There's no reason they can't. They can't get back to it. They could go out tomorrow and they could put a whooping on them. And I feel like, sure, people would say, yeah, you missed one. You missed an opportunity to sweep or, whatever. If we get towards the end of the series, we play a couple of good ball games. But at the same time, as you put up a damn good showing against the Yankees and hopefully take that series,
yes,
then you're probably forgetting about the Monday night game.
You just don't want this night to be the night that was the crux of your season.
Yeah, I don't think it will be, Tony. This team is better than that. They are. But it's a sort of kind of what leaders need to lead. Start from the top, right? We talked about there's a stretch where Jose Abreu and Tim Anderson were not doing the little things right, in addition to not doing the big things at all. And granted, nobody was offensively for a while there. It was just cold as all hell. But now you're getting back to it. It's like, okay, Timmy had a stretch where he didn't come in there for a while there. And guess what? That just so happened to, not saying it was a direct driving factor, but it just so happened to coincide with a bunch of winning baseball.
Just got to get the job done.
I think it's just a mindset of being crisp, being clean, and getting the job done, because that's what helps you get the job done. I'm sure you could overcome some slop in some wild games and whatever, but you don't want to be doing that consistently, or especially when when a game's already in your hand and you're just throwing it away because of that.
Johnny, we've talked about this for 20 minutes. I'm ready to move on.
Yeah.
Any thoughts from tonight? Final thoughts.
Yeah, my final thoughts here are: you need to clean it up. Come on, leaders lead. What I just talked about there. And yes, Hendrick should be able to do that. And at the other turn of the coin, as my White Sox fan hat comes on, fuck Josh Naylor.
Fuck Josh Naylor is the first thought that I have. So I will go right with you in unison on that. That just team fuck Josh Naylor. Yeah, Tony and Johnny. Right here, number one on team fuck Josh Naylor. Outside of that, dude, the Sox on Tap group chat, when we rag on a guy, results happen. I feel like there's other people out there that also rag on guys just to get them going. It's an interesting crew, but it's only crazy if it doesn't work, Johnny.
Yeah.
Is there somebody in this lineup or the pitching staff that we really need to rag on? To get things going.
Yaz ain't doing shit. I love him to death, but holy hell, he's not doing anything. That's who we need to get on and get going.
If we need to get Yaz going, Johnny, be that guy.
Yeah, we need. We saw it. We saw a stretch last year too, right? Granted, I think the knee not being there, his legs not being fully under him, did play a part as well in his cold stretch. But I feel like he's not taking an approach like he normally does either. Because if it's really something that's really off with him at the plate, I feel like he's still able to take his walks. Shit, he took like 9 walks in one series against like Cleveland or against Cincinnati last year. Let's get back to that. Yes, if you're not ready to hit just yet, I can just start piling up some on base, because that'll at least be one guy doing it. As overall, as a team, I'd like to see them take more walks, get on base more, be dangerous when we do
even more walks for Yasmani Grandal from Johnny Night.
If that's what it takes, because I do think that was a factor in helping him turn. Granted, he had to have the knee, once that went, and he had to, that was part of it too. So I'm not saying that's the only factor in it, but should be healthy this year. So if there's something else, let's just not seeing it right, whatever. I think he's still got a good enough eye to be able to take his walks. So
more walks.
More walks from the team as a whole, Tony. But
yes,
he could be
absolutely from the team as a whole. Johnny, there were I was looking at some stats today. There were 5 guys out of 12 positional players, 5 guys entering today that had not taken a walk. Of the 12 guys who've been in the lineup since May 1st. I don't know if that's really good.
No, you're limiting potential chances that you could have to, bring in runs in bulk. And we like that. We saw that twice tonight, and that was awesome in those regards. When you get multiple guys on, then you hit a home run. That's 3 runs for you. Scoring in bulk is cool and tough.
Hey, we love Kirk and numbers here. Jonnie, tonight didn't work out for the White Sox. What do we have on tap?
Yeah, what's on tap tomorrow is Lucas Giolito taking the bump for the good guys, Cal Quantrill for the Guardians, and running it back same time, same place as game 1 of the series. And Lucas Giolito, I think that outing against the Cubs he can build on that. After that second inning that he had in that game, he came back with a vengeance, and he retired guys in a row, and he got his strikeout total up to double digits there. I want to see that continue, and I want to see Lucas Giolito go like 7, 8 if he can. I would like to see that, Tony. I think he can start building that up. I know the first couple when he came back from the injury, I didn't expect it, but 4 to 6 range was what I expected. Now we're back here, and this is going to be his 4th start back after that weird injury. So it's time to ramp up. Let's go. I know he can do it. He's got to keep that pitch count somewhere relatively, because when you have that's the thing. Sure, you want to keep the pitch count low, but when you have strikeouts, they're going to add up a little bit just over innings, especially if you're doing it a lot early. You're at like 6 strikeouts through 4 or 5 or whatever it may be. It's going to add up, but if you can keep that a relatively low number, I think that can be key for success here.
Hey, aces bring ace level shit, Jonnie. You got to see it at some point. No better day for Lucas Giolito to go 8 innings of 1-hit baseball than tomorrow.
I concur. That would be sweet because it's been our longest outing this year. Cease? Kopech? No?
I don't have the stats in front of me.
Might be Vinny Vibes. I don't know. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. It might
could potentially be Vinny Vibes. 6 innings. I don't think we've really seen starters really go past that for the White Sox this year.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? Cease, I believe that Monday game against the Angels, that might have been it. So that might have been 7. But
hey, we need somebody to go deeper.
Yeah, we do. I would. It'd be, dude, a complete game would be fucking sweet. Remember when Lance Lynn gave us a complete game for the home opener last year? How fucking sweet was that? I missed that. I missed that guy.
I missed that too. Something cool and tough about going all 9 these days, Jonnie. Doesn't matter how many hits you give up. Someday they'll be talking about guys that can go 9 innings. I don't know, man. I think that you need Lucas Giolito to show up and just kind of right the ship. I've seen a lot of negativity on Twitter.com over this loss. We've had our own negativity throughout this loss.
Yeah.
You got to find a way to just right the ship and continue on your winning ways here. Hey, 7 in a row, 8 in a row would have been awesome off of the 8-game losing streak. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Jonnie, what are you going to do?
Yeah, how are you going to respond? That's the biggest question right now. So let's hope Lucas Giolito sets a tone for that tomorrow. Tony, pick the click. Let's get the hell out of here.
I'm going to keep riding that AJ Pollock train, Jonnie.
There you go. Hey, 3-run home run tonight. I like it. Works. I went Robert tonight, so ooh. All right. Let's go with Jose Abreu. That's it. That's
MVP shit. Yep.
Let's do it. He's going to be in the lineup, so let's ride it. Tony, bounce back tomorrow. That's all I've got. White Sox forever.
White Sox forever, sir.